In Hollywood, image isn't just important, it's everything. Beneath the dazzling lights and glamorous red carpets, however, some stars lived behind closed doors, carrying secrets they never shared aloud. Today, we're unveiling the top 10 gay celebrities who, despite decades of whispers and speculation, never publicly came out. Their journeys are layered, emotional, and often marked by heartbreak and quiet courage. Stay with us, you might be shocked by who made this list. Some were heartthrobs, others mysterious icons, but all lived with truths the world never fully knew. Caleb Finn is more than just a TikTok star. He's a walking contradiction in the best way possible. With eyeliner sharper than your ex's final text and an uncanny ability to switch from chilling to captivating in a single clip, Caleb crafted a digital persona so drenched in queer-coded energy that no one even questioned it. Fans didn't need a label. They just felt the vibe and embraced it fully. It was never about who he was dating. Yes, he has a partner and a child. It was about presence, or that undeniable magnetic force that transcends relationship status. Dressed in mesh tops, spiked chokers, painted nails, and bathed in the soft glow of neon bisexual lighting, Caleb embodied the melancholic alt boy who journals in his notes app and stares into your soul. Comments poured in. Why do I feel both attracted and haunted? He didn't announce anything, but his queerness was felt, understood, and celebrated. Because queerness isn't just appearance, it's expression. And Caleb expresses it all. Each video sees him shape-shifting through gender norms, aesthetics, and moods, blurring every line we thought mattered. His unspoken message? You don't have to fit in a box. You can be edgy, gentle, beautiful, and strange all at once. That's the power of queer-coded artistry. For every LGBTQ+ teen who's ever been called too much or too weird, Caleb didn't just reclaim those words, he made them cool. When Charles Melton stepped into May-December, something changed. He wasn't just the heartthrob from Riverdale anymore. He became something deeper, achingly vulnerable, quietly magnetic, and emotionally raw in a way that hit unexpectedly close to home. Suddenly, queer viewers everywhere found themselves doing a double take, whispering, "Wait, when did he start giving off this kind of energy?" It wasn't just his sculpted jawline or the quiet sadness behind his eyes. Though let's be honest, that didn't hurt. It was the emotional undercurrent he brought to the screen. A soft kind of longing. A quiet tension. A familiar ache that LGBTQ+ audiences recognized instantly. His gentleness didn't feel like a performance. It felt lived in. Honest. In one interview, Charles grew visibly emotional as he talked about empathy and how being too sensitive shaped his art. That kind of soul-bearing vulnerability? That's queer-coded gold. The internet lit up with comments like, "Why does this feel like someone I've known my whole life?" People joked about checking his Spotify for Mitski, half serious about adopting him into the queer fam. Charles has never publicly defined his sexuality, and honestly, he doesn't have to. In today's world, queerness isn't always about labels. Sometimes it's about resonance. And Charles? He feels like that tender boy from school, the one who zoned out in class, borrowed your lip gloss like it was nothing, and wore high-rise trousers like he belonged in a French art film. Maybe Charles Melton isn't queer. But for many in the LGBTQ+ community, that maybe was already everything. Conan Gray didn't just enter the music scene. He floated in like a soft storm of glitter and sorrow. With his signature voluminous hair, fluid fashion, and aching, emotionally charged lyrics, he became more than just a pop star. He became the anthem for a generation of sensitive souls. But for queer listeners, Conan offered something even more profound. He wasn't just singing about heartbreak, he was channeling it, wrapping it in velvet and making it beautiful. Conan's energy isn't loud or chaotic. It's a slow-burning sadness, meticulously crafted. He steps on stage in lace blouses and stacked heels, not to shock, but to open a wound with grace. His voice trembles with honesty, confessing the kind of loneliness that queer fans know too well. For them, it's never been about who he dates. It's about how deeply he feels, how accurately he reflects the quiet ache they've carried for years. Just scroll through the comments on his live videos. Conan made my pain feel poetic. He's never needed a press release to define himself. His presence alone, soft, artistic, unapologetically vulnerable, is a declaration of identity more powerful than words. He doesn't scream his truth. He whispers it, through every lyric, every outfit, every trembling chorus. And in that subtlety lies his magic. For those who've ever felt too delicate, too different, or too unseen, Conan Gray is more than a singer. He's a mirror, a gentle reminder that there's strength in softness, and power in simply being exactly who you are. Damiano David doesn't just walk into a room, he storms in, eyeliner shimmering, mesh shirt clinging, and enough raw charisma to short-circuit every gaydar from Rome to Rio. As the electrifying frontman of Måneskin, he's not just a rock star, he's a full-blown bisexual emergency broadcast. No official statement necessary. The internet decoded him the moment Måneskin snatched the Eurovision crown in 2021. It wasn't just the style, though let's be real, he looks like the love child of Freddie Mercury and a drag race finalist. It was the swagger, that carefree, unapologetic strut that silently says, "I'll steal your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Depends on the mood." Damiano doesn't perform masculinity. He dismantles it, in heels taller than your G, shirts unbuttoned down to rebellion, and a stage presence that basically shouts, "I came to seduce every last one of you." And then there's the kissing. Damiano's lip locks with his male bandmates aren't stunts. They're joyful, defiant, and completely organic. He radiates queer-coded chaos wrapped in authenticity. But what truly sets him apart is the tenderness beneath the glitter. He speaks out against toxic masculinity, champions his queer fans, and doesn't drape himself in sequins for shock. He wears them like they were stitched into his DNA. Queer audiences don't need a press release. They see him, feel that electric, undeniable vibe, and think, yep, he's one of us. Not because he checked a box, but because he kicked the box off stage, winked, and kept dancing, tongue piercing and all. Harry Styles isn't just redefining pop stardom, he's rewriting the rules of identity, fashion, and masculinity itself. He made headlines wearing a gown on the cover of Vogue, and he's just as comfortable draped in pearl necklaces, feather boas, and nail polish as he is waving the pride flag in front of sold-out arenas. But what truly sets Harry apart isn't just his style, it's his refusal to be put in a box. He's never labeled his sexuality, and somehow, that mystery has only deepened his connection with fans. Instead of giving the world a definition, Harry offers something far more powerful: possibility. He's created a space where gender norms dissolve, where self-expression is sacred, and where people, especially young fans, feel seen, safe, and inspired. What he's built isn't just a fan base, it's a movement. To many, he's not just a pop icon. He's a symbol of freedom, of fluidity, of permission to be whoever you are, no apologies needed. In a world obsessed with labels and clarity, Harry's ambiguity feels like rebellion. He doesn't preach, he embodies. And that quiet defiance, that radical authenticity, might just be what makes him one of the most important artists of his generation. He doesn't offer answers. He offers a mirror, and for millions, that reflection means everything. Lee Pace. With his towering height and timeless Hollywood looks, it would have been easy for Lee Pace to be typecast into the usual roles. But he defied expectations. His career and his presence tell a much deeper, more nuanced story. One of tenderness, quiet strength, and a magnetic queer energy that grows more compelling with time. From the ethereal, androgynous Thranduil in The Hobbit to the brilliant but brooding Joe McMillan in *Halt and Catch Fire*, Lee brings a haunting emotional depth to every role. He doesn't just act, he transforms, letting layers of vulnerability, mystery, and quiet power ripple through his performances. But it's his real-life essence that has the internet completely entranced. His Instagram is a masterclass in effortless allure, shirtless hikes through misty woods, crisp designer fits, soft smiles under golden light. Every post radiates a calm confidence and refined sensuality that doesn't scream for attention, but still demands it. Yes, Lee is openly married to a man, but that's only part of why he belongs on this list. What sets him apart is how he lives his truth, not with bold slogans or staged headlines, but with graceful authenticity. He doesn't need to say much, his presence speaks volumes. Lee Pace is the elegant proof that masculinity and queerness are not contradictions, but a powerful harmony. He reminds us that strength isn't about rigidity, it's about self-possession. And real power? It comes from owning exactly who you are. Nico Greetham. It didn't start with a grand announcement. It started with a painted nail, a pearl necklace, a dance video where his hips moved just a little too freely. And then, somewhere deep in queer TikTok, someone hit pause and said, "Wait, isn't that the guy from Power Rangers?" When did he start glowing with this quiet, magnetic queer energy? Nico didn't burst onto the scene with fireworks. He didn't need to. He glided in with the smooth grace of Broadway, flirty, polished, and radiating effortless charm. His style spoke volumes. Soft masculinity with a knowing wink, clothes that hugged him like a second skin, and a confidence that whispered, "I know exactly who I am." His eyes? Always sparkling like he was one slow dance away from stealing your heart under fairy lights in a quiet parking lot. From his early days in Power Rangers Ninja Steel to the haunting glamour of American Horror Story, Nico's talent was clear. But it was TikTok where he truly connected, with fluid movement, fearless femininity, and a boyish smile that seemed to make people fall in love without even trying. He wasn't baiting, he wasn't acting. And that authenticity? That safe, soft, you're not alone energy? It was magic. Then came Pride 2023. Nico strutted into the spotlight wearing sheer mesh, platform boots, and the kind of confidence that doesn't ask permission. No declarations, no labels, just vibes. Queer fans didn't need him to say a word. They reposted, they celebrated, they smiled knowingly and whispered, "He's one of us." Nico Greetham lives in that beautiful, unlabeled in-between, a space where he's never boxed in, but always seen. And for so many in the LGBTQ+ community, that space doesn't just feel authentic. It feels like home. Lynch. Let's be honest, no one saw this transformation coming. He started out as the wholesome, golden-haired heartthrob of Austin and Ally, the poster boy for Disney Channel innocence. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. The shirts got tighter, the energy got steamier, and suddenly, Ross wasn't just a teen idol, he was a vibe. It began with the Driver era, his music project that oozed a raw, indie edge. Gone was the polished pop prince. This version of Ross was gritty, sultry, and dripping with mysterious allure. Then came the performances, bare-chested, hips swaying with rockstar confidence, drenched in sweat and charisma, like Prince reborn under neon lights. He wasn't trying to label it. He didn't need to. His presence alone said, "I'll dance, you decide." And then, the fashion. Crop tops, sheer fabrics, painted nails, silk scarves slung just right. It wasn't a costume, it was casual, like he woke up and thought, "Today I'm an artsy bisexual record store manager. Let's go." The queer internet didn't wait for a press release. One scroll was all it took. No announcement? Perfect. He's ours now. From Tumblr legend to TikTok obsession, Ross Lynch became a queer-coded icon not because he tried, but because he didn't. He doesn't exploit it, doesn't deny it. He just exists in that fluid, self-assured space between labels. And that kind of quiet, effortless confidence? That's exactly what made him a modern-day icon. Timothée Chalamet. Long before soft masculinity became a cultural talking point, Timothée was already redefining it, quietly, powerfully, and without apology. With cheekbones sharp enough to shatter glass and a soulful vulnerability that bleeds through every role, he's not just a leading man, he's a movement. His beauty isn't loud, it's haunting, ethereal, the kind that makes time slow down. Whether he's wearing a backless Hader Ackerman suit or a shimmering Louis Vuitton hoodie, Timothée doesn't dress for attention. He dresses like each outfit is a frame from a living art film. His red carpet appearances feel less like fashion statements and more like visual sonnets. Unsurprisingly, the queer community sees him, not just as an icon, but as a mirror. He sparked a wave of fan edits, mood boards, and essays exploring why his presence feels so beautifully queer-coded. From the yearning innocence of Elio in Call Me By Your Name to the conflicted depth of Paul Atreides in Dune, Timothée plays characters who ache, who wander, who feel too much and yet not enough all at once. He's the kind of boy who makes you wonder, do you want to be with him or do you want to be him? There's no need for shock value or declarations. His power is in the quiet. In a world obsessed with definition, he drifts between categories like poetry between lines, never landing, never needing to. That graceful ambiguity is what makes him not just a star, but a generational symbol. Especially for those who've never quite fit neatly into any box, and never wanted to. Thanks for watching. If this moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We've got more stories just like this coming your way. Until next time.